You're listening to Artistic Finance, show 106.1. Now, today's show is 3 Filipino theater artists discussing finance as freelancers. They discuss how they survived the COVID-19 pandemic, how artists manage their finances, including side jobs, and the Sea Lighting Foundation, which has and is helping immigrant artists in the USA during the COVID-19 pandemic. After this intro, the episode is in Tagalog. Since I don't speak Tagalog, Jamie Wilson takes over as host. Jamie was my guest on episode 106, which is paired with this one. That episode is in English. If you don't speak Tagalog, be sure to check out that episode by scrolling back one episode in the podcast feed. If this is your first time listening to Artistic Finance, welcome. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube or your podcast app to get notified for next week's episode. Each week, we interview an artist or finance professional to learn how to succeed both artistically and financially in our life and careers. If you end up loving this show, you can help us keep these interviews happening by becoming a Patreon patron. All patrons get bonus episodes and early releases of the show. You can become a patron at patreon.com/artisticfinance. Without further ado, let's get to the show.
Thank you for listening to Artistic Finance. Make sure to subscribe. To access our show notes, transcripts, or resources, go to artisticfinance.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before making any decision, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Artistic Finance. Written permission must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting.
Okay, hello everybody. Magandang umaga, magandang gabi. Depende kung anong time zone po kung nasaan kayo. Ako po si Jamie Wilson, isang director, isang assistant director, isang technical director, isang aktor mula sa Manila. I'm based po in Manila and nandito po tayo ngayon. Ang kausap ko ngayon, ang kasama ko ngayon ay si Sheryl Polancos. Ang isang matinik na stage manager na nasa based siya sa New York City. At kasama din namin si Chacha C, isang lighting designer na based din sa New York City. And of course, kasama namin si Ethan na hindi niya masyado tayong maintindihan. Pero kakaway-kaway lang siya at magnanod siya. Parang akala niya naintindihan niya. Yon, di ba? Gets. Okay.
Oh my God, ang galing mo ah.
Oh, di ba? So ngayon, pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Bago tayo pumasok sa topic ng artistic financials natin, di ba? Na syempre, napakahirap na pag-usapin. Kasi nobody ever likes to talk about money. So syempre, di ba? Medyo tabu yung topic na yon. Medyo hindi natin pinag-uusapan, discouraged, di ba? Pero bago natin pag-usapan yon, kamustahan muna tayo. Di ba?
Yes.
So, kamusta dyan sa New York? Sheryl, anong balita mula sa New York?
Well, mabuti naman. You know, shit, ang hirap. Sorry. Well, lahat tayo na-experience yung pandemic, di ba? So,
kamusta naman yung lockdown nyo?
Yung lockdown namin,
sandali lang yung lockdown nyo, di ba?
Yeah, hindi siya masyado matagal compared sa Philippines. Siguro mga like a month, no? Siya.
Wow.
Probably like a month. And then, pero yung mask mandate, sa simula pa lang, nag-start na siya. So, pero yung lockdown, and then yung process to get the shots and the vaccines, medyo mabilis siya compared sa Philippines. You know, it was hard kasi all of us like experienced that na nag-shut down yung our jobs in like entertainment industry and live entertainment. So it was hard. I had to do other jobs. Ako English na kailangan kong gumawa ng ibang trabaho. Alam mo yun? So, mahirap. But eventually, you know, I survived. We survived. And now, I'm doing Beetlejuice. So, thank you. Yeah.
One of my
I'm
favorites.
So
That's my favorite. I want to see it live.
Really? Yes.
Oh.
So, pumunta ka na dito. Hey, Jersey Boys. I've been with Jersey Boys for the longest time. Pero nag-close na sila last May 22nd. And so, but then I was with Beetlejuice. Yon, so far.
So yung mask mandate nyo, nakataas pa?
So, meron pa rin mask mandate, pero for example, around, anong month yun? Siguro mga around March, they did they loosened the rule na sa mga restaurants, sa mga indoors, or sa mga deli, pwede ka na magtanggal ng mask. And then now, when it comes to theater, sa audience, I think on June 30th, that's the last day of removing the mask mandate.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll see how it will. Ba yan? Tingnan natin kung paano
kung ano yung effect niya, yung pagtanggal ng masks in closed spaces, no? Pero marami namang vaccinated So at least yung vaccinations nyo, mataas yung rate ng vaccinations nyo. Pero, tapos marami din anti-vaxxers.
Meron din, pero syempre still, mas marami pa rin yung vaccinated. Pero sa ngayon sa theater, tinanggal na nila yung rule na only vaccinated people can enter. So, ngayon, kahit hindi ka vaccinated, pero kailangan mo pa rin magpakita ng proof na negative ka.
Okay. So hindi kailangan, so either or. Kung hindi ka vaccinated, kailangan may test result ka. Kung vaccinated ka, hindi mo kailangan ng test result.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ngayon nagbago na. Before,
vaccinated
kailangan vaccinated lang. Yeah. Diba? Diba, Cha? Am I correct? Okay.
Ikaw, Cha, anong balita sa'yo sa New York? Tagal na natin hindi nakikita.
I know, it's been a while. I got 2 shows running in New York City right now.
Yabang 2 shows Yabang
2 shows. Super proud. One is called Soft by Daniela, directed by Whitney White. It's running in MCC Theater. Yung pangalawa, Exception to the Rule by Dave Harris, directed by Miranda Heyman. So the other one though, it's been a bit crazy dahil we only have 7 actors, and out of the 7 actors, 5 got positive. So after preview 2, we postponed for 2 weeks. So just imagine, it's like, preview 2 is like a run through. It's like may teaser kami, tapos nag-shutdown.
Tapos babalik, may teaser ulit.
Tapos babalik. So, but then over the course of 2 weeks, the people who are negative can come and dry tech. But dry tech is like, it's dry tech for this sort of scenario, I don't think is helpful because none of the actors are there anyway, and they can't come in to do the actual tech. So we're just dry teching 5 hours. May
mag-Tagalog ka, mag-try ka.
Mahirap talaga dahil
nasanay ka na
Hindi, dahil yung COVID, hindi kami makapagsimula ng walang rhythm at the same time na stop yung momentum dahil preview tapos shutdown. Tapos lahat ng artista, syempre dapat mag-rest sa bahay. Pero regular yung PCR. Hindi ko lang alam kung ngayon ba hinahanap pa yung proof of vaccination every time you enter the theater? Okay. So I think ganun din.
Hindi. Para sa mga workers o sa audience?
Sa audience.
Sa audience, oo.
Yun. Ganun din.
Meron pa rin.
And then daily PCR tests or every other day PCR tests. Since I have 2 shows, medyo convenient for me kasi nandiyan lang sa lobby yung COVID safety team. So, hindi na namin kailangan pumila sa kahit anong.
Yeah.
Yan ang maganda Ito naman yung balita sa Manila. So, Manila.
Anong balita?
So, theater is just about to come back.
Yay!
So, nauna yung mga concerts. Syempre, nakita niyo naman, naula yung mga rally. Dahil election. And then ngayon may tatlong production na i-mount this year. Yung Carousel ng Repertory Philippines. Tapos Virgin Lab Fest, which is nice kasi at least CCP bubukas. And Ethan, the Virgin Lab Fest is basically a festival of unpublished works of playwrights.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing festival. I think it's on the 16th year, 17th year. So it's a festival held at the Cultural Center of the Philippines. And that's always been a great experience in terms of getting not just unknown works or untested works, but also sometimes you have like really big names who are coming in both the theater and film world wanting to join, because it's a no pressure kind of thing because it's untested. So you have a lot of creative freedom. So at least yan mamamount sa CCP. Tapos yung Joseph the Dreamer.
Yes. Si
Ng
Kayla,
trumpets.
nandun.
Yung anak natin,
Kaya
si
alam ko.
KK, nandun.
Yes.
And that's going to be at the Maybank Theater. So it's good finally theater is getting back on its feet. Nung nag-lockdown, and we're still under an alert level. So hindi pa kami fully zero. You know what I mean? We're still under alert level 1. But alert level 1, pwedeng 100% capacity basta vaccinated indoor venue. And then lahat ng mga workers vaccinated and then regular testing. So, pwede na yung antigen. Kung lock-in, like I also do shoots, di ba? For TV and for film. Kung lock-in, nag-RT-PCR kami. Kasi you're sharing rooms, di ba? You're sharing banyo.
Yeah.
Di ba? Et cetera. Pero yung umpisa talaga ng lockdown, grabe, sobrang depressed kami kasi basically yung buong taon mong show nag-cancel eh.
Yeah.
So, on the year that the pandemic happened, I was supposed to direct something in the CCP. That's the cultural center of the Philippines, man. I was supposed to direct something. Gone. Diba? I was supposed to have 2 really good original roles. Gone. And syempre, the theater industry here, we've never had any money. So we're the first ones to get shut down and we're the last ones to recover kasi wala talagang pera eh. Hindi kagaya ng nung nag-transition ako during the lockdown as a safety officer, yung primary work ko, naging television tsaka film. And I was a safety officer. I was a licensed certified safety officer. So it was very interesting to be in that capacity watching magic happen. But syempre, iba talaga yung life. Diba? Pero at least ngayon, unti-unti, nakakabalik, bumabawi. Tapos yung mga concerts na dinidirect ko or nagko-consult ako for safety for, nagpo-full house. So yun ang masaya. Nice. So yung mga taong may disposable, parang may bagong class ngayon ng tao na may disposable income. Yung mga rumakit during the lockdown. Yung mga gumawa ng sourdough, tapos nag-start ng business. Parang iba na yung market ngayon kasi may mga disposable income. Gusto nilang lumabas. So yung mga concerts, kahit maliit man lang na gig sa bar with bands, to big concerts sa NPAT, sa Resorts World, na-full house. So, ibig sabihin, gutom yung tao para manood ng shows, tsaka may pera silang mag-spend. Yung delikado lang sa amin is kasi, depende kasi sa LGU mo, kung mataas yung kaso sa LGU mo, sa local government unit, or sa barangay, where your theater is, tataas yung alert level mo. So, baka makancel yung show mo. That's why the producers are medyo playing it safe because anytime if the areas now COVID numbers go up, we can get shut down. Kaya very cautious yung mga producers. Ay, nakailang show na ako na rarampa tapos biglang shutdown. Parang sinabi ni Cha, di ba? Nag-tech na kayo, nag-preview na kayo tapos shutdown. May mga ganon. At saka ang sakit Ang sakit.
Oo naman.
Di ba yung unang lockdown pa lang na shutdown kayo, tapos yung pangalawang, kala mo okay na, tapos biglang lockdown ka ulit. Parang somebody broke up with you twice.
Naalala ko
yung ang sakit sa puso.
Naalala ko yung March 17, 2020. Lahat yata na nag-lockdown except Midwest. I was in Kansas City. May ginagawa akong show. Tapos nag-announce na sila na...
Oo nga. Alala ko yun.
Nag-announce na sila na opening night namin is March 18, I think. And then, so, we've been teching for 3 weeks. Like crazy. It's a tricky show. May projection, may ilaw, syempre lahat, yada yada. And then, so finally, yung artistic director, sabi niya, parang tinatry pa rin nila pero ramdam na namin over the course ng 3 weeks, every day, nanonood kami ng news, Philippines, New York, shit, ano bang mangyayari? And then, on the 17th of March, before the opening on the 18th, the artistic director said, Broadway has shut down, Off-Broadway has shut down. I think regional theater is going to follow, and that includes us. So, yung mga kasamahan ko, parang naghawak-hawak na lang kami ng kamay. We were like, shit, tas iyak talaga, pati yung playwright. Isipin mo, tagal yung over the course of 7 months yung collaboration, tas 3 weeks kayong nag-detect, nag-shutdown. And then all of us are from New York, and then some of the actors are from LA. So walang taga-Kansas. So lahat kami nagpapanik. Nag-shutdown ba yung LaGuardia or yung JFK Airport? Nag-shutdown ba yung LAX, yung sa airport? So,
can I get home?
Gano'n. As in,
God.
panic talaga. Kasi,
Correct.
nag-shutdown March 19. I went home March 19.
Swerte.
Kasi,
Sakto ka lang.
what happened was, so, March 18, opening became our closing night. So, nag-open kami para sa sarili namin. There's no audience member.
Oh, wow.
It was so...
Hindi ko alam yun,
It was so sad. And then, so, we watch our own show, the creatives and the director, and then there's a camera there, and we were all like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Naalala ko yun, diba, nung dumating ka na, diba? Kasi, dati magka-roommate kami ni Cha. So, meron pa kami isang roommate din na sa theater din, kasama ko sa Jersey Boys. So, nung narinig namin yung news na, okay, muna tayo, magko-close tayo temporarily. Siyempre, ang amin, ang thinking namin, for a week lang to. Hindi naman to magpo-prolong ng 1 month.
Kami din.
So, kami
Mga 1 week, 2
diba?
weeks.
Yeah. So, nung nung pagka-uwi ni Jess, inom tayo. So, bili pa kami ng wine, gano'n. Tapos, nag-pizza pa kami. Tapos, ayun, yung first week na yun, umuwi na siya, magkakasama kami. Siyempre, hindi naman kami laging magkakasama 24 hours kasi may kanya-kanya kaming trabaho, di ba? For the first time, as in 24 hours, magkakasama kami. So, nung mga simula, roomies party pa ganyan. Tapos, nung mga after like 3 weeks na parang, ay, mukhang magtatagal na to. Totoo na to. Tapos, nung nag-announce na talaga official yung Broadway na, we're gonna shut down till spring or whatever. Summer, like, oh my God. Shit. Yun na yung parang, ano nang gagawin ko? Depression na. Ano nang gagawin ko?
Diba ang hirap kasi kino-combat mo yung depression, tapos diba yung momentum mo? Kasi sanay tayong, taga-theater tayo, diba? Taga-live events. Sanay tayong go until close, diba? Tapos yung go mo, biglang, And then all of a sudden, now what? And then when the announcement started coming in, like you said, we're gonna close until spring, dito question mark. As in like, ang laki ng question mark because basically the government did not know how to respond to this.
Yeah.
So they were making up the rules every day. May iba yung rules, di ba? To the point where we couldn't even leave the house to buy groceries. Ganong ka-level ng lockdown ang nangyari dito. Kailangan kumuha ka ng quarantine pass galing sa barangay para makalabas ka. God. Tapos yung pila sa grocery, my God, like 2 blocks long. Naghihintay ka kasi may maximum occupancy yung grocery, so hindi ka makapasok. Pero during the lockdown, okay, I mean, given na may depression tayo, nag-stress tayo dahil wala na tayong show, di ba? Yung financial difficulties natin during the lockdown, biglang naging magnified kasi wala tayong show eh. Freelance tayong lahat eh. So, paano kayo nakatawid? Cheryl, umpisa natin.
So, yun na nga, diba? So, after like a month, ito na parang, kasi in denial ka pa nung simula, diba? Na parang, di babalik yan eh. So, parang, okay, pero nung talagang na permanent na, okay, wala kang work. Who knows kung kailan babalik. Ay, yun na parang, ano nang gagawin ko? So, syempre, na-depress na. Especially, nasa artist visa pa kami. So, very tricky kasi hindi naman kami pwedeng mag-work outside really sa theater eh.
Napaka-specific yung working permits niyo. Okay.
Yeah. So, kailangan namin maging creative, di ba? So, ako, actually, pero kami ni Cha, we need to work sa restaurant. So, yun. So, personally sa akin, that kept me busy and productive. And then at the same time, I've never done hospitality at all. So, pero eventually, yun na nakuha ko yung rhythm ng hospitality, and then nakakatuwa din yung mga kasama ko nakatrabaho. So it worked out. And then I stayed with them for like a year.
Wow.
Until bumalik na. Kasi bumalik na yung nag-open. So by 2021, medyo meron ng mga bumabalik na theater, di ba? So I was able, so my first ever talaga na work ko after the pandemic, I went to Sonoma, California, because there's a small theater group there that brings like mga Broadway actors sa Sonoma, and then they do like parang mga concerts, dance concert, and like a snippet like ng mga Broadway show. So,
parang review.
Ginawa ko. Oo, parang review. Exactly, yeah. So, nung summer of 2021, yun yung first ever theater ko na parang, oh my God, parang, shit, nakabalik na. Alam mo yun, bumabalik na. I mean, it was outdoor. It was gorgeous kasi yung theater nila is in Jack London Park. So it's outdoor, and then vineyard yung nasa setting namin. So yeah, so I was there for like 2 months, and then eventually and then I was still working sa restaurant. Pagkabalik ko, bumalik pa ako ng 1 month sa restaurant, and then October, that's when we started remounting Jersey Boys. So yun na, tuloy-tuloy na. Yeah. That was for me.
So interesting talaga, no? Like, you know, as theater people, we're very resilient. Because kung pag-isipan mo naman, any job in the theater we can do. So if you take that mentality outside of the theater, kahit ano trabaho bigay mo sa akin, pag-aralan ko ng konti, tapos magagawa ko eh. I mean, like when I was living in New York, I was working as a bartender, I was working as a waiter, I was working as a dishwasher. You know, dishwashing is break-backing work, pare. Especially if the restaurant's busy. Oh my God. You know?
Oh my, yes,
so
talaga.
Yung binubuhat mo ng lahat ng mga dish, like, oh my God, kung mabasag na isa to, babayaran ko rin. Di ba? Pero napaka-interesting kasi at least halos lahat ng mga theater na kilala ko, at least, di ba? At kilala natin, may nag-transition in one way or another, whether they went to streaming, the websites, performing on, you know, for digital, you know, fees or presents, you know, ganyan, before live and face-to-face went back. But yan ang maganda kasi as production people, yung mga production people dito sa Manila, ang pinakanahirapan. Tapos, may mga ibang production people na kilala natin is nag-transition din to Kumu. Like, ang kaibigan natin si Christian Parado. Ayaw na niya mag-SM.
Nakikita ko yun. Talaga?
Kasi, ang dami niyang followers. Oo, mataas yung kita. Tapos, ang dami niyang followers. Tapos, nagchichismisan lang siya. So, parang, ang ganda ng tawid, yung mga behind the scenes, naging in front of the scenes. So, napaka-interesting yung dynamic na nag-shift bigla out of necessity. Diba? What about you, Cha? How did you traverse when you finally made it home on the 19th? How did you survive nung wala kang shows?
Well, first of all, sabi nila yung opening naging closing, so tinawag namin clopening night. Happy clopening.
Oh my goodness. Dito rin ang daming production ng ganun. Yung Kilababi,
happy clopening.
Yung band's visit, ganun din.
Opening tas closing, happy closing. Happy clopening. Pag uwi ko ng New York, I think shock. Lahat. Collective shock sa neighborhood, collective shock dito sa household namin with Sheryl and yung other roommate. Ganun din, nag-work ako sa I was really proactive with all the rallies kasi yung time hindi nangyari yung George Floyd. Tapos at the same time I was working in this cafe/restaurant/ mini market with Sheryl. Pero nung time na yun defensive pa ako na hindi babalik yan. May ganun lagi, babalik yan. Hanggang sa...
Medyo in denial.
Defensive in denial. So, 10 months akong nakatagal doon na in denial. 10 months.
Correct.
10 months akong nagtrabaho doon in denial na hindi, sige, kaya pa to. Pero, as a lighting designer, syempre yung kita ko, pre-pandemic, hindi naman ako per hour eh. Hindi rin minimum wage per size nung theater eh. Like Lord A, Lord B, Pero nung sa cafe, balik ako ng 10 per hour. So kailangan kong humatak ng maraming oras. Like more than 80, 90. Pero putang ang hirap. Sorry. Mahirap diba? Talaga, mahirap.
Oo, mahirap.
That's a curse.
And then
yan ang maganda, 'di ba, Cha? Like kung hourly yung bayad natin sa theater dito sa Manila, yaman ko na. Ang yaman ko na. Tapos as an actor,
pero depende rin, Jamie. Dapat mataas din yung per hour.
Tapos yung dapat din, kung ikumpara mo from Manila to the US, 'di ba? Kung kung comparable yung fees per hour, mayaman na ako. Tapos kung as an actor, kung may push-pull fee ako, naku, ang dami kong scene change na ginawa sa buhay ko. 'Di ba? Mayaman na rin ako.
Mayaman na.
'Di ba? Pero yun ang malaking kakaibahan sa theater dito at theater diyan. Yun ang maganda.
Wala kasing union diyan.
Oo, mahirap magka-union dito eh. Pero kamusta naman? Like okay, so I mean since we're freelancers, 'di ba? Sheryl, part ka ng Actors Equity, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kamusta naman yung mga benefits mo? May benefits ka ba?
Yes. I thank God kasi syempre I started as a PA. So syempre hindi pa ako part ng equity noon. So I only joined equity 2019 when this Jersey Boys decided me na i-move up ako as the first stage manager. So as soon as na naging part ako ng union, syempre yung benefits like insurance, yun ang talagang malaking part, health insurance na thank God na kasi since part of like ng equity din ako, mababa yung monthly yung quarterly namin. So compared to like dito na kung kumukuha ka lang ng sarili mo ng insurance ang monthly, like it can range from $600 a month, ganon. Pero since I'm part of the equity, the union, quarterly lang yung binabayaran namin. And then it was like $100
nice.
Quarterly. So, ang laking tulong. Tapos, panatag ka na, okay, anytime na meron akong maramdaman, at least, I'm insured. Pero during the pandemic, that changed. Kasi syempre, dahil walang work, walang employers na mag-contribute dun sa health insurance. So, lumaki yung, in a way, lumaki yung quarterly payment namin, pero still manageable. It from $100 to $300. It's still a small amount compared to like kung ikaw individually.
Kung individual lang yung health provider mo.
So, yun talaga yung pinaka na malaking tulong once you join union, insurance talaga. And then at the same time, meron na kasing tier yung payments mo. So, once you're a stage manager na part ng equity, so, syempre, merong off-Broadway contract and merong Broadway contract. So, nandun ka sa levels yung tier na, halimbawa, for example, like commercial A, like, kung halimbawa 1,600 seater. So, that will also depend. Dun nila i-valid din yung payments mo. So, and like, I'm very fortunate na from off-Broadway, I started like a 500-seater, 499-seater. Now, ang ano ko, nasa production contract. So, it means it's a Broadway contract. Mas isa kami dun sa malaki na seater kasi Beetlejuice seats 1,600. So,
wow.
So, that was yeah.
So, nag-bump up din yung tier mo.
Oh, yeah. And like, every time, like, any naman na part ka ng union, you're protected kasi like protected kasi you have representatives na to talk on your behalf, diba? Especially if you're experiencing issues at work, may it be like racial issues or so you're protected. So that's what's very much like na thank God I'm a part of a union. Like I don't have to fight for myself like by myself.
Yes.
Yes.
May backup ka. May backup, may rest back ka. In other words.
Yeah, may rest back ako.
Tsaka yung maganda doon is napaka-clear yung since you're unionized, napaka-clear ng mga rules. Kasi dito,
True.
syempre, alam mo naman dito, sa Manila, A, walang union. B, depende kung anong company yung katrabaho mo eh.
Correct.
Kasi, di ba, kung big company, small company, big musical, small musical, and depending on the culture of the company, that really depends on your working conditions. Kung mag-overnight ba kayo, di ba?
Correct. Oh my
Or
God.
kung,
Nako, di pwede yun
di ba?
dito.
Oo. Hindi, yung maganda dito, nung naging licensed safety officer ako, tagabantay din ako ng oras. So, yung government mandate dito is 12 hours maximum in the entertainment industry. So, syempre yung mga television tsaka film, di ba? Madalas nag-24 hours na dito, 48 hours. Hate nila ako pag SO, pag safety officer ako sa set kasi binubunutan ko sila ng genset. Sorry, I'm counting down from 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15, hanggang last 2 minutes, parang basketball. Last 2 minutes, and then kill the power. You know, and they hate me. Like, okay, the producers hated me, the directors hated me because syempre, di nila makuha yung shot nila, but the crew and the actors loved me. Kasi, di ba, who are we protecting? It's for everybody's protection. Ako, swerte ako dito sa Manila. Nung transition ako sa safety officer, I've always seen safety as part of my mandate, even when I'm ADing, di ba, Sheryl, you know that? Even when I'm ADing, it has to be safe.
Of course.
The transition was not so difficult. Yung mahirap lang is knowing the existing laws. Kasi then, the certification, I have to be familiar with the labor laws here, the employment laws here, the new COVID protocols, and the rules. And the difficult part is every LGU or every barangay had varying degrees of the rules or varying interpretations. So it wasn't hard and fast. So I had to interpret certain laws and rules because essentially the government was also trying to figure out how to move forward in terms of very specific industries. Because you have a safety officer here for separate industries. There's construction, there's ganyan. Ako specifically for audiovisual and live events. That's the safety
I see.
that I do. Kasi it's people management. I mean, I'm not handling building a building. Why? Diba? Iba yung certifications nun eh. You know? For live events and for audiovisual activities, it's a different animal kasi I learned everything's involved eh. Like if you're going to construct a set, then you do have construction going on. So I have scaffoldings, I have cement mixers, I have this. So parang halo-halo lahat kasi depende kung ano yung film mo or ano yung teleserye mo or ano yung live event mo. Pero hindi mahirap yung transition sa akin kasi safety has always been part of my mindset. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Pero kamusta naman yung Kamusta naman yung when you got out of denial of 10 months?
May acceptance. So,
nung natanggap mo nang medyo matagal to. Ano yung moves mo?
Next move ko habang nandun pa ako sa cafe, sabi ko may acceptance pero kasi like Sheryl mentioned earlier, artist visa kami, meaning nung beginning ng pandemic wala talagang support. So kausap ko yung mga barkada ko, sabi ko shit, kailangan may gumawa ng something kasi lahat ng international artists dito parang alam mo yun, wala yung union hindi niya
support.
Although member ako ng local 829, hindi nila ina-acknowledge yung international artist. Kumbaga, ako, member ako ng union ng local 829, pero hindi nila priority yung pagtulong sa international artist nung nangyari yung pandemic. So,
yung priority nila yung local, yung tao nila muna.
Yung mga
may kasama akong 2 barkada katulong. Sabi ko, gumawa kaya ako ng foundation. Tapos nag-GoFundMe ako. Tayo na nagkaroon ng $8,000 donation. Sabi ko, ayos to And then lahat ng barkada kong nasa artist visa o one visa, binigyan ko ng tig for $500 monthly. Tapos hanggang sa lumaki hanggang sa naging Sea Lighting Foundation na. So, all in all, nakapag-reach kami ng 287,000. So, pinamigay namin, bali meron kaming 88 artists monthly hanggang makapag-recover na $500.
Kasama ako doon.
Yun yung acceptance na, alam mo, upon accepting na ito yung challenges, ano ba yung pwede natin gawin as a community?
Yes, as a community, di ba?
As a community. Tapos yung sinabi mo rin, Jamie, kanina, medyo importante kasi hindi mo alam kung ano nangyayari sa bawat tao, yung psyche nila. Depressed ba sila? Hirap ba sila financially? Or okay sila financially pero depressed sila? So at least, hindi malaki yung 500, hindi rin naman mababa. Pwede siyang pang-grocery. So, sabi namin yun, ang hirap lang nun kasi, syempre, hindi ko alam Akala ko mabilis lang tumulong. Mahirap pala. Akala ko pag marami kang pera, pwede na yun. Hindi ko alam na kailangan mo magbasa ng email. Hindi mo kaya mag-email. Yung mga legwork na tangin naman.
Yung mga admin work, di ba?
Admin work. Una, ilan lang yung artist bigla naging 88. Hala, tas kailangan kong i-track monthly kung ano na yung mga binigay ko sa kanila. So habang
para may transparency ka.
Para may transparency. Tapos naka-upload yun sa website para alam din ng donors kung saan napupunta yung pera.
Yes.
And then eventually lumaki na, nagkaroon na kami sabi ko, ang hirap pala nito. Sabi ko, magkakaroon ako ng problema sa taxes. Bakit ako kumita ng ganito kalaking pera? Kasi sa personal account ko pumupunta So, ngayon, nagkaroon, parang yung Ars Nova helped us. Sila na yung fiscal sponsor. So, above 5,000, pupunta sa kanila yung cheque. Sila na yung magpapamigay dun sa artist. So, sabi ko, okay din pala. Pero yun yung mga hindi ko alam na loopholes. Akala ko pag may pera, sige, tulong tayo. Pero, may
babalik din yan sa iyo
taxes, may lahat, ganyan. And so, after nun, nag-expand ako sa digital. Pero na-realize ko sa digital, hindi mo pwedeng i-apply yung lighting design kasi hindi talaga siya uubra. Sa Zoom, mahirap.
Yung mga Zoom, Zoom reading.
Nagturo ako sa...
Sandali siya. Medyo pantay naman yung ilaw ko ngayon.
Pantay naman. Maganda.
Conscious.
Maganda. Ayun, tapos nagturo ako, nag-guest ako sa Brown University, Harvard, nag-expand. Yung digital, parang sabi ko, hindi to pwede, hindi naman ma-apply. Ang hirap talaga. Tapos, parang hindi ko binibigyan ng integrity yung lighting design. So, sabi ko, magpunta na lang ako ng academe. So, nag-Harvard, Brown. Tapos ngayon, nagtuturo ako sa Fordham. Kakatapos lang nung last semester namin. Kasi, I think, kahit na-hustle ako ng hustle as a freelancer, baliktad kasi kami ni Sheryl Si Sheryl, dito sa New York, yung mga shows ko, regional. So, ang daming travel talaga. So, during the pandemic, just imagine, hindi ako nakatravel at all. Ngayong post-pandemic, well, hindi naman siya post-pandemic dahil may COVID pa rin. Lahat naman ng show noong 2020 na na-postpone, ngayon, napunta naman lahat sa 2022. So, within a year, ang allotted shows ko lang na pwede is 8 shows. Ngayon, naging 14. And then, so, stressed, financially stressed lahat dahil exhausted, overworked. So, doon na pumapasok din naman yung safety in terms of like mental health. Paano yung work-life balance? Paano ko ina-navigate yung sobrang dami kong taong kausap? At the same time, yung standard sobrang taas. At the same time, may COVID. At the same time, may apartment.
Yung maganda dyan siya, sorry, to go back to the foundation that you set up, di ba? Parang yung mga maliliit na tulong na binibigay natin sa mga kapwa nating taga-teatro, taga-production, yung mga walang show, di ba? It's really nice to hear that even there, it happened. That you took that initiative. Kasi yung ang dami-daming fundraisers na ginawa namin dito para sa either for the production people, for fellow artists, for somebody who needs an operation, di ba? Yan ang maganda kasi it ties us into the sense of community. Kasi dati, ano yung show mo? 'Di ba? Minsan sabay-sabay pa yung opening natin kaya hindi natin pinapanood yung mga show ng mga kaibigan natin. So it became, excuse me, parang kung nakalock in ka sa show mo, yung iniintindihan mo lang or ipinag-iisipan mo lang yung show mo. Tapos minsan, kamusta lang ka sa kabila, kamusta yung setup mo, ganon, di ba? Tapos nung nangyari yung pandemic at lahat tayo nawalan ng show, one of the good things that came out of the pandemic is parang mas naging community tayo kasi we realized that we're all in the same boat. Lahat tayo walang show. So kailangan nating makatawid, di ba? Kailangan nating kumain, kailangan nating magbayad ng rent, and all that. So nagtutulungan-tulungan and ang napaka nakakabusog sa puso pag nakakarinig ako ng mga kwentong gano'n na parang kasi ako, recipient ako, tapos nakatulong din ako. I mean, umabot akong 20 pesos na lang yung pera ko sa buong buhay ko. 20 pesos na lang. Di ba? Tapos nag-scramble kami ng misis ko. Went out and got jobs and tried to figure out how to, di ba, use your kamote and figure it out. But the beautiful sense is that there was a good community to make you salo. So, lahat tayo, kahit na iba-iba yung condition natin, like sinasabi ni Cha, yung mental health natin. May mga taong kilala ko na taga-production na may naipon sila, may savings sila, pero sobrang depressed. So iba yung tulong na kailangan mong bigyan, hindi financial. It's 3 a.m. phone calls na, kamusta ka?
Emotional support.
Oo, emotional support, mental support, or kailangan nila ng cheerleader or kailangan nila ng, hindi, kaya mo to, kaya natin, maghanap tayo. Di ba? So it wasn't just financial support. That was of course, that was the most real world application, di ba? Pero na-realize natin support. Na even ngayon na bumabalik yung mga show, may baon pa tayong mental health issues galing sa pandemic eh. Like yung unang show ko na dinirect ko sa Resorts World, nung nandun ako sa tech booth na sa gitna ng audience, nagkaroon ako ng anxiety attack kasi hindi ako sanay na daming tao. Tapos mag-live show tayo. Sandali. Diba? And Resorts World is a 5,000 seater. It was 50% capacity. But still, I haven't, in 2 years, I haven't been inside the venue na mag-concert ako yung mag-direct. Ibababa ko ba yung mask para magsalita sa com? Diba? Yung mga doubts na ganon. Diba naglalaro? And napaka-interesting kasi as a community, we helped each other. And even if the pandemic is actually waning and winding down, I would love to continue this sense of community to help each other out, and not just my fear and yung pinakaayaw kong mangyari is babalik tayo sa bad habits, babalik tayo sa old habits, di ba? I think we should learn the lessons that we learned when we all had no shows and support each other's shows. Yun ang maganda ngayon, may malaking community ngayon na kahit na maliit lang na gig sa bar or banda or malaking concert, di ba? May mga lumalaking concerts na sa mga medium-sized halls. Kung kaya mong pumunta at magsuporta, even if you're not working in the show, I will attend and support your bar, your business, your actors, your band, your performers. Kasi umiikot lang yung pera eh. Di ba? Kung paano tayo magkakaroon ng show kung walang audience? Di ba? So minsan kailangan ikaw din maging audience ka rin. Para makatulong ka. Para yan yung umbag mo. Parang yan yung contribution mo. And that is actually fostering, pay it forward. And yan ang maganda. It's becoming a community. Kasi dati, di ako masyado nanonood ng ibang show. Bakit? Busy ako sa show ko eh. Di ba? Ngayon, lahat ng opportunity na, kaya kong panoorin, papanoorin ko. Pero yung maganda doon. So, going back to what you were saying, Cha, in terms of now you have you found loopholes in terms of people covering, a company sponsoring your parang tax shield, di ba? Parang tax shelter sa'yo, di ba? And all that. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung tulong na binibigay mo.
Ngayon,
tuloy pa rin yung foundation.
Bali yung promise ko is until theater goes back. So, ayokong gawin siyang forever dahil hindi ko na kaya mentally and emotionally. Masyado ikaw pa lang magbasa ng email na humihingi ng tulong, parang maiiyak na ako eh. So parang after nun, sabi ko kailangan natin kasi yung donors namin nakasubscribe yan eh. So monthly kukuha kami ng $15. Depende kung ano yung sinign up nila, kung 10, 50, or $100. So monthly, meron ako nakukuha, kunyari sa specific person. So syempre, iniisip ko rin sila na kailangan natin i-stop to. Pantulong lang naman to sa pandemic. Hindi naman to pantulong sa buong buhay. So after na nag-stop kami, after 2 years, sabi namin, okay na. Yung mga artist namin, ang ganda, ito yung pinakamaganda nangyari. Yung lahat ng mga artist na wala namang membership basta kailangan mo lang ng pera. Wala ring vetting process. Pero ang isa lang yung criteria, dapat nasa O1 visa ka. So ang maganda rin, nakita namin na nagkaroon na sila lahat ng trabaho. So parang medyo moment of relief na meron na silang trabaho. Okay na. So ang naging yun, ganun. Tinigil ko siya after 2 years kasi nagkaroon na rin ako ng mga teaching gigs. Tapos eventually, nagkaroon na rin ako ng mga outdoor shows. Tapos bumalik na rin yung theater. Pero ngayon pa lang yung 2 show ko na balik dito ulit sa New York. So matinding anxiety attack din kasi iba yung feeling pag ewan ko, parang ngayon medyo claustrophobic na ako. Ganun yung effect nung yung pag regional kasi,
pag maraming tao.
Pag regional kasi parang malaki yung space, especially pero pagdating sa New York biglang zoom.
Lahat.
Lahat parang oh my God. And then ayun, ngayon sa finances medyo okay na. Ang problema naman, overwhelming yung trabaho. Parang hindi pa siya nagiging stable in such a way na ito pa lang last month of May pa lang yung last show na na-realize na maging production. Kasama siya dun sa mga suspended shows. So, excited ako kasi finally, after nito, bagong season na, bagong mga show na every theater company ngayon, bagong season na rin, tapos na lahat yung canceled, yung suspended, postponed shows na produce na nila. So, malaking bagay kasi nakakapagod na gusto mong mag-make ends meet, but at the same time, yung suspended show na to, like yung May, yung down payment, kasi kung local 829 ka, first install, second install, third install, just imagine yung exception to the rule, example, 2020 yan So nagkaroon na ng first and second install. Ngayon, ang fight namin is, example, pag hinire mo si Jamie or si Sheryl as photographer, may wedding, na-cancel yung wedding, nabayaran mo na sila. After 2 years, i-hire mo ulit sila. Syempre, babayaran mo, di ba? Ulit, ng panibago. Hindi ganun dito.
Gets. Hindi, kasi basically, dahil parang force majeure yung COVID force majeure. So, pagbalik mo, nabayaran ka na, kailangan mo gawin yung trabaho.
Exactly.
Gets ko yun.
Gets ko yun. Ang fight naman namin is, nagkaroon ng pandemic. So,
dapat force majeure din yung pagka-payment mo sa akin.
Exactly. Force majeure din dapat. So, pumasok naman, kung si Sheryl union, ako union, pumasok naman dito yung agency ko na magsabi na, kasi ang fight ng theater company, binigyan na namin kayo lahat ng designers na first and second install. Ano nangyari dun? Ngayon, hindi ako kailangan magsalita. May agent ako, parang shield siya na sabi ng agent ko, napunta yun sa rent tsaka sa groceries ni Cha. Kailangan ulit ng bayad dahil kumbaga 2 years na kayong nag-uusap dito sa show na to, ipoproduce nyo ulit. Parang yun nga yung idea ng photographer or kahit anong bagay, di ba?
Position.
Pag may canceling, automatic yan na dapat may canceling.
Parang renegotiate yan bago ng bagong kontrata.
So yun.
Cha, sorry. Cha, before we let you go, kasi I know you have to go to another Zoom call. Pero ano yung being a freelancer, no? At ngayon bumabalik na yung mga shows, aside from yung mga suspended or canceled shows na ganun, moving forward tayo, no? Moving forward. Ano yung pinaka-importante sa'yo? as a freelancer, in terms of your finances, savings ba siya or negotiations? Ano yung deal mo? Ano yung scope ng work mo? Ano yung period of work? Kasi we don't know. Kung bumalik yung pandemic, di ba? Are you anticipating something like that in
So,
that sense?
ang ganda nung tanong mo kasi like I've said earlier, nagkaroon ako ng parang in the back of my mind, kailangan ko yata ng medyo stable. So, yun yung teaching. So, yung teaching ko, nandyan yan. Wala lang ngayon this semester. Babalik pa ako 2 semesters later. Pero at least nandyan siya. Kasi sabi ko, pag nawalan na naman ako na-cancel na naman tong show. So, yun. At least meron akong isang job na nandyan. And then, pangalawa is savings. So, during pandemic, wala talaga. As in, wala. Walang-wala. Negative pa. May utang ka pa dun sa bangko. Yung credit card mo pa. Talagang walang-wala. So, sabi ko, hindi na pwede to. So, ngayon, ang tinatanggap ko na lang is, like sinabi ni Sheryl kanina, meron mga tiers. Hindi na ako tumatanggap ng show na 2,000 below. Kailangan 3,000 pataas or kung 2,000, usually kasi yung mga ganyan yung bayad, 2,850. Hindi ko na masyadong matatanggap. Tatanggapin ko siya kapag okay dun sa, pag meron kaming communication with the director na ito lang yung allotted time. Medyo particular na ako ngayon sa time, sa physical labor na nandyan ako physically. Tsaka medyo inaalagaan ko na yung mental health ko. Kasi na-realize ko, medyo parang grabe yung impact nung foundation nung pandemic. So yun yung mga 3 things ko. At least may form of normalcy and stability dun sa teaching. Yung time and effort ko na inaalat, bayad. Tsaka number 3, yung travel na physicality, geographically, nasan ba ako? Ilang oras ba to kailangan magtrabaho? Ang maximum ko is pag regional 2 weeks lang, kailangan ko nang bumalik. Yung physical din na yun, may kasamang comfort dapat na wag niyo naman akong pabayaan. Kasi minsan nababato ko sa mga iba't ibang states eh. So, pag regional theater, hindi mo alam kung ano ba yung expectation mo kasi syempre, ibang kultura, ibang state. Pero pag balik sa New York, medyo mas flexible kasi dito yung 99 previous na tayo, hindi pa ba tayo mag-open? Parang ganun. So, kahit pwedeng 4 weeks, 3 weeks. So, ayun, yun yung mga boundaries in finances.
Yan ang maganda. At least, kasi, before this happened, obviously since negative yung balance mo nung nagka-lockdown, hindi mo naisipan to eh. Ako din, same thing. Hindi ko na pag-iisipan to. Na I'm just lucky that I can actually make tawid in other aspects. Like I can be a voiceover talent, I can do safety, I can direct, I can be you know what I mean? I can wear many hats. So I'm very, very fortunate to be able to do it. Sheryl, ikaw, so kung palisa tayo lahat, ikaw, ano yung mga major takeaways regarding your finances? Post-pandemic, ngayon nakabalik, ngayon magbi-Beetlejuice ka na. So, kung dumalaw ako sa New York, bibisitahin ko kayong dalawa, ikukulit ko kayong dalawa.
Nakaka-proud
maglalasing
yan.
tayo.
Nakaka-proud
tayo.
Diba? Oo, maglalasingan tayo, tapos kailangan mo na manood ng mga shows namin.
Pwede ba ako manood sa backstage?
COVID. Bawal nga yung backstage.
Putya nga na, safety officer ako, I test myself.
I'll test myself. Yeah. Okay. Malaking, syempre, like the pandemic, malaking learning experience talaga, especially for us na freelancers na, na yun lang yung talagang bread and butter natin na yung live entertainment. So, as soon as nawala yun na parang, shit, ano nang fallback ko, diba? I told Ethan this before dun sa podcast na I grew up not very good when it comes to money. Hindi ako magaling mag-manage ng sarili kong pera. Because also, my parents also, hindi sila ganun when it comes to money, like magaling mag-manage ng pera. So, later on, ko na lang na figure out na, okay, you have to take care of yourself and like you have to allot something for yourself. Na later on in life ko na, nung matanda na ako and like mas kumikita na ako ng pera na, Sheryl, you have to, save. So, especially when the pandemic happened, syempre mas na-highlight yun na parang, okay, oh my God, saan ako kukuha ng, paano ko magsusurvive? Alam mo yun? So, especially like, yes, I'm grateful na meron akong trabaho sa restaurant. Pero syempre, hindi naman din siya completely 100% na-sustain yung like just my rent alone, and like groceries and like other bills, and I have
tsaka hindi lang yun. Kahit na nag-transition ka, like you're working in a restaurant, working cafe, yes, everybody does that at one point in time or another. Pero hindi yan yung core competency mo eh. Wala, yung puso mo hindi nandun eh. Diba?
Yeah.
So iba rin yung conflict na it's something something I have to do versus something I want to do. Diba? Pero yung lessons for stability and savings and managing your money will enable you to do more of what you want to do. Diba?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then at least meron kang, meron kang sense of relief in your heart na parang, okay, whatever happens, if another pandemic, if another global, happens, I'm secured. So I think that really ignited na for me na parang, okay, you have to start and like take care of your money and start saving. Kahit paunti-unti. So yun yung actually like, Ethan asked me this before sa podcast, like, what's your advice? Like for me, kahit na later on in this game, later on in your life, you can always still start like allotting like small amount of money, like weekly, monthly, so that at least meron kang sense of panatag eventually. And then, of course, like the pandemic also, like same with siya, na parang now you're more in tune with what you want and what you are trying to accomplish. So parang ngayon, meron na ako na parang, okay, that before the pandemic, sige lang, go ka lang ng go. Ngayon, parang meron ka ng boundaries eh. May boundary ka na. For your mental health and for
napaka-importante. Napakalaking bagay yung boundaries na sabihin mong, sandali, hanggang dito lang ako.
Yes.
Kasi, I mean, if you book yourself for 1 week, I don't need to go whole hog 1 week, 24 hours a day, which is what we used to do here in Manila. Now, I need time to rest. I need time to recharge, not only physically, but mentally, but also emotionally. Because the stresses of the pandemic is very real. Diba? Kung mag-breakdown ka sa isang show, di wala ka trabaho. So the taking care of yourself, the boundaries is such a very, very important thing. And like you said, yung mga maliliit na bagay na savings, practical choices. Like yung unang na tanggal ko is, bakit ka bibili ng mahal na kape? Diba? Kasi
magigising.
Right? Si Ethan. Ethan's making senyas.
I was going to say, let's wrap it up. And first off, thank you all for doing this. I appreciate it so much.
Ethan. Thank you.
And just one quick question for all of you, really, before we go, which is, what's your social media handle?
Yeah, but Facebook, it's Jamie Esteva Wilson. For Instagram, it's Jetboy Boogie. For Twitter, it's Jetboy Boogie. Not that I post a lot, but I might have something interesting to say one day.
For me, I don't really go to Facebook a lot, but more on Instagram, so it's Sheryl Polancos.
Mine is see-through Chaucy.
Awesome. And I'll put links for those in the show notes. And how do you guys say break a leg in Tagalog?
Wala. There's no direct translation. It's always, the thing is to break a leg.
Break a leg.
Okay. It's really,
break a leg.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much and break a leg with everything.
Thank you, Ethan.
Maraming salamat. I love you. And then, nagpaplano kaming pumunta there baka later this year, early next year.
Sige.
Yes,
and we're always, New York's always the culminating activity when we travel. So.
Sige.
All four of us should get together.
Yes, please. No, let's get all the characters together, man. I'm calling you out, Migayesa. I'm calling you out, di ba? lahat. Let's get together. Hindi kasi pwede na mag-face-to-face eh. So at least, di ba? We have to maximize our time. Di ba?
Cool. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Please be
Love you
safe.
guys. Bye.
Be
You
safe.
too. Be safe. Mwah. Bye.
That's it for this week's episode. Normally, I would give you my takeaways, but frankly, I don't speak Tagalog, so I don't really know what was talked about. But if you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Find me on LinkedIn and send me a message, or email me directly at artisticfinancepodcast@gmail.com. The email comes directly to me, and I read and respond to every single one. And certainly let me know if you like the fact that we jumped into another language. These episodes take more work, time, energy than English episodes, so let me know if you liked it or if it wasn't worth your time. If you're enjoying the show and appreciate the work we're doing, please consider becoming a patron. As a patron, you'll get early access to episodes and the outtakes from interviews, including the outtakes from episode 106 with Jamie Esteva Wilson, where we talk about Star Wars, Pippin, and his podcast, which incidentally is in English, though he does jump into Taglish or Tagalog every once in a while. You can find those outtakes at patreon.com/artisticfinance. And if you want to help out the show, but you're not ready to join as a patron, you can do one of two free things for us. One is to subscribe on YouTube or your podcast app, and the other and most helpful is to tell somebody about the show. If you liked listening to Sheryl, she was our guest on episode 101, talking about her experience moving from Manila to New York City and becoming a stage manager on Broadway's Beetlejuice. I'll put a link to that show in the show notes. That's it for today. Until next time, break a leg.
You're listening to Artistic Finance Podcast, where your host, Ethan Steimel, interviews successful artists, leaders, and investors to help educate and inspire artists to grow their wealth.
Will I be able to understand any of this, or should I just turn my camera off and go away? Or should I keep my face here?
we
Or
would love to
just
see your face.
every 20 seconds nod. Like
Okay.
wisely.
Okay,
Yes, we
cool.
would love to see your face.
Okay.
I think Taglish, no? Medyo Taglish. So I
yeah.
think you'll be able to understand a little bit.
Okay, cool.
You'll get the drift. The
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we'll make it really
That
casual.
drift.
drift.